What's going on, YouTube? Claic Yuzolt back again with another Final Fantasy Brave Exvius banner review, and today we're going to be reviewing the new version of the Final Fantasy IV banner, containing a couple of new units, and, with a little bit of global upgrades, and then we also have the whole Rydia banner and things like that. So before we get into the whole banner review, there are a few things I want to discuss. One, you may be wondering where all my YouTube videos have been lately. I was in Miami for a bachelor party. I'm not sure if I talked about that here on YouTube. But yeah, I went for a bachelor party for like a week. It was a big ordeal in Miami. It was super fun. But now I'm coming back to grind it out, do well, and things like that. Also, I am pulling on this banner, even if I tell you not to later in the video, which we'll get into that a little bit. It's kind of a little bit awkward thing, but I will be pulling tomorrow, Saturday, at 8 p.m. EST. We're going to be doing a lot of pulls because I actually do want these two units. First off, they look amazing, and second off, the TMRs on this banner are insane. So thank you guys for taking the time to listen to that, and let's get into the review. So the first unit we're going to look into is Edward. Now, we're not going to go into too much in depth on a lot of these units because specifically, a lot of the units aren't that great. Edward, for example, is just a budget bard. If we go down and look through his abilities real quick, he can boost up your attack and magic. If he does his singing, he can boost all stats by 40%, give you some HP, give you some MP, just like Roy, just like Ramza, but that's not good enough at this point. I mean, 7 stars are on the horizon. That's another thing I want to discuss. 7 stars are on the horizon, and at this point, if you aren't super good, you're going to be super bad when 7 stars come out, especially if you don't have a 7 star. So we're not going to be looking over this spoony bard too much. Even the Paladin song, 74% to everything. I mean, it's not terrible. If you're new to the game, this guy's actually really good if you're new to the game, just getting started. This guy could be your bard, could be your buffer. It's not going to buff you up, to the greatest amounts. But if you pull this guy, you're just getting started. Definitely slot this guy into your team. One of the things I want to discuss, too, is this amazing TMR for a 3-star base unit. Vishnu Vest, okay? Stats: defense 36, spirit 36, MP 15%. Those aren't amazing stats, but I think they're pretty good. They're solid. They're like, I say solid to mediocre, but it also gives you fire resist, ice resist, lightning resist, light, and dark resist by 25%. And we do know that when we're fighting a lot of these espers, we're trying to, get a bunch of these resistances up, build them up to a certain amount, so then when we cast the elemental resist and they imperil, it's going to be really good. I actually couldn't believe, I remember when I reviewed this on stream, when we were talking about it the other day, I couldn't believe how good this TMR was for a 3-star base. So I think that if you do pull, because it's King Mog, you're probably going to end up pulling. TMRs on this banner are nuts. So now we're going to be moving on to Yang, which, again, sadly, not the best unit in the world. But let's go ahead and look at his TMR, Monk's Enlightenment, okay, guys? It is a pretty much fist mastery. Increase attack 40% and defense 20% when equipped with a fist. This is our second chance at getting a fist mastery. The first one being from a trial. Very, very good. I don't see that it doesn't stack. And here's the thing. I'm not 100% sure because I haven't got the summon to be able to look at them yet, but there's no one there. It doesn't say it doesn't stack. So being able to stack this up on somebody who is going to be using the Aegeon Arm, who is going to be using fist weapons with, the Champion's Belt and all that stuff, it seems really great. And it also gives you some defense to make you a little bit more tanky. A very good TMR indeed. Moving on through his abilities, he just doesn't have anything. The frying pan, dear lord. He just doesn't have anything that makes him very powerful. He doesn't have anything that makes him very special. He's a physical damage dealer that really doesn't get it done. So sadly, again, we're just going to be looking over him. As far as unit designs in this game, Yang, looks amazing. Edward looks amazing. And then the two Rydia and then the Kain also look to die for. But now we're going to be quickly moving into Dragoon Kain. Atoning Dragoon Kain, which is such a fitting name, better than the Jake name they keep coming up with and all these other names they keep coming up with. First thing we're going to look at is the Dragoon Helmet, which is his TMR. Again, so great, very good 3-star TMR. Very good 4-star TMR, in my opinion, 4-star base. Very good 5-star base TMR here. Dragoon Helmet. Attack 40, defense 28, and you get some water and wind resist. This is a helm. A lot of units can wear helms that are, your attack-based units. It's not as, it's not as high in the attack stat as, Prisha's hairpin. However, it's only 5 less, I do believe. Let me type that in to make sure. I'm pretty sure Prisha's hairpin is, let's see, Prisha's hairpin is 45, right? Yeah, 45. It gives you some HP too. But this also gives you a little bit of defense and water and wind resist. So it is going to help you there. So it's going to be 5 down on your whole true double hand. But if you don't have Prish, this is your chance of getting a true double hand helmet that actually has some other good stats on it too. Very, very, very strong TMR. So let's talk about Kain real quick. I'm going to pull up this infograph that I have on him. And then we're going to discuss something that I just recently figured out. So Kain's pros are, he has a Dispel and the ability to water, wind, and dark imperil by 50% on one ability. Then he also has piercing moves, which essentially are 3.5 times multipliers to the one enemy. It also does, he has one for dark, wind, and water. And then he adds that element to his attacks. And so what that's going to do is it allows him to imperil. If he doesn't have that on his lance or whatever you're going to put into his hand, he's going to put that on himself and then be able to do that on later turns. So that's kind of like a pro. And those moves were supposed to chain with Leela. You can see here that I have this chaining partners down below. We're going to discuss that in a minute. Sonic Gale has many chaining partners. So his Sonic Gale got improved with global enhancements. He has an ability called Sonic Gale. It's going to do, an okay modifier on his attack, but not really the best. And then he's going to be able to negate 2 physical attacks for 3 turns. So if 2 physical attacks hit him, that's good just in case you run into a situation where there's a big AoE attack or the boss just smacks him or something like that. Being able to have that extra survivability is nice. And then he also decreases wind resist when he uses this ability. So that's pretty good if you want to go ahead and just throw wind on him, or it just added to the ability. And his chaining partners for that are a lot. You have Eileen, Explorer Eileen, oh man, why can't I think of her name? Lara Croft, and then Camille. Camille was the one I couldn't remember. Camille. So those are the chaining partners he's supposed to have. Okay, he's supposed to have those chaining partners. We'll get into that in a minute. His jump ability isn't that great. It's not that high of a stat. He does have this huge increased jump damage by 120%, but again, just jumps in this game are not that good. And it's normally why we overlook Dragoons. But the global enhancements for Kain were supposed to change that. Kain was supposed to become a chainer, a person who has a lot of chaining partners, and to be able to do that, okay? Moving on down, his next pro that I'll give him is the fact that he has 75% Dragon Killer Plus. So that means magic and physical damage are going to be increased by 75% against dragons. I don't know if anybody's building Magic Kain out there, but if it ends up becoming a thing, I don't see how, but that would be crazy. So he's going to be able to do a lot more damage to dragons, and if there's ever a trial when there's a dragon, he's going to be able to be in there and do that. We'll look at the cons here. We're going to have to add more cons than what I have up here because we figured out a couple things. I think they'll be fixed. Low attack modifier. So on all of his moves, you can see that his highest attack modifier here is 5.5 times on his Sonic Gale, and then 3.5 times on his piercing abilities. And those are the ones you're going to be using for the most part. That's not good enough. Even if we look down at his limit burst, it hits for an okay modifier once you level it up, but it's still just a one-hit finishing ability that just isn't doing enough. So his attack modifiers are too low. He must apply elements with his piercing. So if he's using one of these piercing abilities, if Leela is in fact the chaining partner you're going to be able to use with him, you're going to have to put Leela in with a wind, water, or dark weapon. Okay, and dark weapon seems the easiest with Leela, with her TMR being the fist weapon and things like that. But a lot of monsters in the game are resist to darkness, so that's going to be kind of bad for you. So that's kind of a con. It kind of pulls him back a little bit. And again, I have this overall use, in my opinion, for Kain. We're going to go ahead and move on to that part. Is Kain was supposed to be the 10-man trial king. He was supposed to be able to chain with so many units that in a 10-man trial, you'd be able to chain up and do, build up those chains, do damage, because he could chain with all those units you can see down there. Problem being, is after he came out, even though they said in the official video he would be able to perfectly chain with these units, he's not perfectly chaining with them. Kain is not working as intended, I guess. And it's just not doing it correctly right now. People aren't being able to perfect chain. It's not very good. Maybe they just miscalculated it in the maintenance or something. I don't know. But I am thinking, since they've already said he's supposed to chain with these units, they will fix him. So if they fix him, he's still not that great. I'm just going to tell you that right now. Kain is awesome. I love him. I'm going to be pulling for him. But he is still not the best. I think he gets demoted to, not on your main five-team roster, he's demoted to, I will use him in 10-man trials to try to chain with all these other units we have, okay? So that's what I'd be using him on. If they don't fix that, if it stays the way it is, but I don't think it will, then he is super bad. Like, he is not good at all, and I've heard not good things about a 7-star, okay, guys? So that's Kain in a nutshell. Now we're going to be moving on to Rydia. Pure Summoner Rydia. And I don't know why, but I am the most excited about her out of everyone. Let's go ahead and look at her Trust Mastery, Purebred Summoner, okay? This mastery also doesn't seem like it doesn't stack. This should stack. There was never a 1 beside it in the news. It doesn't say here that it doesn't stack, and I don't remember anywhere in the game where it says it doesn't stack. Increase magic 40% and spirit 20%. increase Evo magic by 10%. So in any of your evokers, any of your summoners, this is an insane TMR. If they do evoke damage, which I don't know if you guys know what evoke damage is, but essentially that you take your magic and your spirit and you divide it by the enemy spirit. So you're taking two stats, putting them together. So you know on hybrid damage, you take your attack and your magic divided by the spirit and defense of the opponent. In evoke damage, if something says it does evoke damage, that is your spirit and your magic put together divided by their spirit. It does a ton of damage. All right, it's a lot. So this is going to help you out a lot with that. And the 40% to magic and 20% to spirit is insane. I think this is very, very good TMR. So again, overall arcing on the banner, TMRs are insane. Okay, on this banner has very, very, very good TMR banner. As far as unit banners, not the best in the world. We'll go ahead and look down. Of course, Rydia is a summoner unit with a little bit of a, I guess, support unit to her. So we're going to bring up her info slide I made here. The pros for Rydia are ability to increase evoke gauge. So she has the ability where she has a bunch of things she can do that increase her evoke gauge and allow her to be able to summon a little bit sooner. So if you need to finish with an Esper or summon an Esper, she's going to allow you to, get into that a little bit quicker. She also has moves that use the evoke gauge, similar to Yuna did, that Yuna had. So we're going to be able to ramp up into those moves and be able to use those. Can use any summon in the party. If we look down here, has the Mist Village Girl, meaning she doesn't have to have, like, the exact one. Because normally when they have, Esper kills or summon an Esper, it's normally the one that makes you imperil yourself to what the boss is strong against. Well, here, again, Rydia doesn't have to have that on her. You can put that on somebody a little bit more tanky, but she can still summon it from someone else. Or you get in a situation where you need a certain summon, she can go all over the team there. She can off-white magic support. Now, again, Rydia's moves, if you look over her moves, she does a lot of evoke damage, and then has a modifier, and again, the evoke damage is based off of magic and spirit. So she can off-white magic support, because she does have moves such as, Kiraga, Asuna, and Raze. Now, these aren't the strongest in the game, but we're probably going to be putting the Holy Wand from the Sheraton trial in her hands. That way she has dual white magic cast and all that spirit added to her to make her even more powerful. So I do believe she can off-white magic, support if you need to. And then she also has a huge fire finisher and a huge LB attack. Her fire finisher is activated by using tradition. When you use tradition, it increases your evocation gauge by 3. It increases all your stats by 80%, but you probably have a higher buffer. If not, there you go, 80%. And then it enables you to use Eidolon Bomb Explosion, which got buffed. Fire evoke damage 21 times to one enemy. Costs 5 of your evoke gauge. That move hits so hard. I have to get her just to see how much damage this is going to do. It's going to hit so hard. Let's go ahead and pull up the mechanics here so I can show you guys. If you guys are if you ever were worried about a certain mechanic or something like that, and you don't know, go to the Exvius wiki and scroll on down and look for it. Just look, evoke damage right here. You take the unit's magic, the unit's spirit, you divide it by the enemy spirit, okay? Then you're going to times all of that by 1 plus your evo mag, so you know all those things that put up your evocation magic. That's going to be times by that. Your damage modifier, which is like the 21 times for that fire move. Level correctness, elemental weakness resistances, so imperils, things like that. And then variance, and it says up here that the variance averages to about a 0.93. So you're going to have to times it by 0.93 from what I understand there. It's going to be a lot of damage. I mean, I know a lot of you guys don't really care about the numbers as far as the math is concerned, and some of you do. Just know that it's going to be she's going to be fucking hitting hard with that fire hit. And then also, if we look down here at her limit burst, it's 20 times to all enemies. So it's AoE 40 hit. So essentially, the one is a finisher, but this one can chain itself up and start doing the mad damage by chain capping itself. Another thing we didn't talk about, but it is up there listed in her pros, is that she does have Tornado. Very, very good ability because she has Chaining Partners and Barbariccia and Shantoto. I know a lot of you guys out there have been using Tornado in 5-man trials or even against certain other types of bosses. She has the ability to do that. She has Quake, and that gives her a Chaining Partner in William, but I don't think you're going to be using that, so I didn't really include it. It's not something that a lot of people, I think, will be using. So I think overall, her uses, again, are going to be a Fire Nuker or an LB Chain Nuker Magic Dealer. She's going to be able to Tornado Chain on the off turns where you don't really need to be doing that finishing move, but you do want to build up a chain and do a little bit of damage that way. And she's going to be your Evoker, maybe a little bit of a White Mage. So that's going to be your overall use for you guys. That's what she's going to be doing. So overall, She has less Evo magic than certain other summoners, but I think that is made up in her overall modifiers that is in her kit. But I do need to list that just so you guys know that she's not like the strongest, most best Evo magic summoner in the game. Some other people have a little bit higher than her, but I do believe she's going to be able to dish out the damage, and I do believe she's going to be very useful moving forward into the future. So yeah, definitely be looking into that. So overall, what do I think of this banner? What do I think you guys should be doing? I honestly think that this is a very summonable banner. One, you're going to have to go for King Mog. As far as 5-star power, raw power is concerned, I think you're looking at mid-tier here with Kain and Rydia. Not saying Rydia can't dish out the damage, as I just said, but more so over, people aren't really using that type of damage right now, or needing that type of damage. But I can see in the future where you would be like, I need to summon, and I need an evoker. And then Rydia could actually help you get the boss down while building up the evocation gauge, you know what I mean? Like, she can actually push your damage even higher while supplying a little bit of support. So I think Rydia is the gem on this banner. Even though Kain may be able to chain with all these people, he's not going to be on your main team. You're going to be using higher chainers, better chainers in the game, in my opinion, than Kain. Kain's going to really shine against dragon-type enemies, and then, of course, in the 10-man trials, if you want to chain it up that way. As far as TMRs are concerned, every one of them are good. Every one of them you should get. Every one of them you should try to farm up. I think they're all outstanding. So I think this is a ticket to maybe a few Lapis pulls, to be honest, for your Dolphins and your Whales out there. For your free-to-play, maybe just a couple ticket pulls. Remember, E3 is coming out at this weekend. In a couple days, E3 is going to be hitting here. If you guys want to come on my stream, I'm going to be streaming all of the conferences. So you guys can come and watch them with me. We'll be streaming the official Final Fantasy Brave Exvius channel, the stream. We'll talk about it together. We can get in Twitch chat and talk about what's going on, all the news. But I do believe they're going to announce 7 stars, or at least everybody thinks they are. So we have to take every banner up until 7 stars with a grain of salt and be thinking, what am I going to be doing for 7 stars? You know what I mean? So if you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up. Comment down below if you think they'll fix Kain. They got to fix Kain, right? Even though he's not working, they got to fix him. And then subscribe for future content. We'll catch you guys in the next video. Oh, stop the music. I forgot to mention this. Guys, I'm trying to build up my Instagram. Apparently, my manager told me I need to get up my Instagram, so I need your help. I only have like 300 followers on there. We need to get it up higher than that. If you guys would do me a favor and follow me at Claic_Yuzolt on Instagram if you use it, I normally give you a follow back. And I just want to, I'm posting pictures on there of me at the gym. I just posted a recent streaming setup. I post daily pools on there. I'm going to start posting daily pools. You'll see me and my wife out doing cool things, or when I go to like Evo, or I can't make it to E3 this year, but trips like that will be awesome. So if you guys could please follow me on there, I'd really appreciate it. It's something I'm trying to build up and do, so that'd be awesome. So, okay, back to the music.